I'm Christy. Today I want to talk about working with loved ones with physical disabilities. So now that we've looked at the different types of disabilities, let's consider how to work with each category. First up, physical disabilities. Obviously, the most important consideration is trying to figure out what accommodations and or modifications they need to be able to access things their typical peers are able to access. A few specific examples come to mind. If your loved one is in a wheelchair, are they able to access buildings and bathrooms independently? Do they have access to all parts of the or floors of the building? Can they access these parts independently or will they need assistance? Or if your loved one is hard of hearing, do they have access to assistive technology that will enhance voices for them so that they can hear and follow along? If assistive technology isn't available, are other accommodations available that will help them hear the conversations and instruction around them so they can fully participate? Finally, if your loved one has vision issues, are they able to be placed so that they can best see as much of the room as possible? Are they provided with materials in a larger font so that they can read them more easily? You get the idea. The general principle is that your loved one is provided the same access to events, classes, programs, etc. Now, I should also note here that I think there are times when we also need to be understanding and accept that not every single place will be able to provide comparable access to our loved ones with physical disabilities. While this saddens me, I'm also realistic enough to understand that some places are old enough that full disability access isn't available. And funds to update these buildings are often not available, especially for privately funded buildings. I recently ran into one such location. It's an older building, and while the people using the building would love to support individuals with special needs, they're also realistic about the limitations of their building. The second floor is not accessible to anyone who cannot walk upstairs independently, and at least one of their staircases is relatively narrow, so someone who is slow moving up and down stairs could slow down individuals behind them. In situations like this, I think we need to be understanding of these organizations, especially if they're aware of the problem and are trying to figure out solutions that will make things more accessible for more people. Getting angry, frustrated, or offended doesn't help in situations like this. Yes, it may mean that some people choose not to support this organization or return to these buildings. That's their choice and is understandable. But creating issues over something that is difficult and maybe impossible to fix doesn't help anyone. So, what can we do to help our loved ones with physical disabilities? First, we can understand that not every single place will be able to accommodate every single type of disability. Calmly talking to management about how this is an issue for your family or loved one starts the process. Remaining polite and calm will help make your point and will hopefully build bridges instead of burning them. If you can find a way to cover the cost, you could purchase equipment that will help your loved one. This equipment goes with them from location to location and is available for use while they're at that location. For example, if your loved one benefits from some sound amplification, maybe purchase a microphone and receiver that your loved one keeps in their things so that the main speaker can use the microphone while your loved one uses the receiver to better hear the instruction. Finally, if there's a relatively simple solution to make access available for your loved one, maybe you could organize a work date or solicit funds to create the necessary changes to create access for your loved one. Obviously, you'll have to have the approval of the organization in question, but this could be a way for everyone to win while creating understanding and camaraderie between new groups of people. Now, I realize I've barely touched the surface of this topic, and obviously there's a lot more I could say, but I think you get the idea. Hopefully, I provided a few things to think about to help figure out creative solutions to help your loved one. The biggest key is to advocate for your loved one so that they have as much equal access as possible. And that's something that everyone can do. So, my question for you this week is this: what accommodations or modifications does your loved one need because of their physical disabilities? How does it impact their daily life? I'd love to hear about your experience. You can leave me a comment below, or you can leave me a comment over on the blog. That's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in February of 2023. If you prefer, you can always email me at Christy, CHRISTY, at havenofhopeforme.com. I'm working to advocate for better access for physical disabilities so that I can continue to say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.